Here to give us an exclusive look at Diablo 4's newest expansion, please welcome General Manager Rod Fergusson, Systems Designer Aislinn Hall, and Lead Game Designer Rex Dixon. Welcome, guys, to Gamescom.
Thank you for having us.
How
Great
you
to be
guys all
here.
doing? Yeah, it's exciting stuff. Now, for those of the people out there that might have missed what happened last night, why don't you clue us in? What exactly did you just do?
Yeah, well, last night was exciting. So our game director for their Vessel of Hatred expansion, Brent Gibson, got on stage and he talked about something that we've been going even deeper on the expansion. You know, we've talked about the Spiritborn, the class, we've talked about the new zone, Nahantu, talked about the new story campaign, but we're like, there's even more in the expansion than that. And so we really want to get into like different ways that people want to play the game. And so we introduced the Undercity of Kuras, which is our new dungeon, which Rex will talk about. We have our new Dark Citadel, which is our multiplayer co-op. And then the big thing was our trailer last night for our Mercenaries.
Mercenaries. Now, let's talk about them for a sec, because this is a brand new gameplay feature. We'll talk about new class and all that kind of stuff in a sec, but Mercenaries seems really interesting. You showed off like this vignette with 4 different characters. I mean, introduce us to them. Who are these people? Why did it feel like the right time to bring it in now? And how do you hope players are going to engage with the Mercenaries?
Yeah.
Rex?
So I think the franchise has a legacy of followers and mercs, and we wanted to really reimagine that formula. And so we added this feature called Mercenaries to the game. There's 4 mercenaries that you can recruit. One is Rahir, one is Variana, Subo, and Aldkin, the demon child, which everyone got very excited about at the show the other night. And so there's a lot of depth in Mercenaries. So you'll meet Rahir in the campaign. He'll introduce you to this hideout called the Merc Den. And within the Merc Den, you can find these quests. You have to go on these story-based quests to actually acquire the Merc in order for them to party with you. So each Merc has his own backstory, his own personality. And then once you acquire them, you can bring them into your party with you. And essentially it facilitates a way that solo players never have to feel like they're alone again. Because now they have this friend, this partner who can adventure with them. And so one of the ways that you progress your Merc is you have each Merc has their own skill tree. And you can sort of pick and choose which skills you want them to have. And it's a really nice way to complement your build. So whatever build you're trying to go with, you can have the Merc set up so their skills kind of match and overlap with your own. We also have a system called rapport. The more you work with a Merc and the more you adventure with them, the more they can sort of give you more benefits and they can kind of grow in power. And so once you go back to the Merc Den, you can actually get custom rewards that you can only get by progressing your Merc, building up that rapport in order to access these really awesome rewards at the end.
And then, so I'm going to have to be best friends with a demon child if I want to see the good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm in.
And then this last feature we have is called reinforcements, where let's say you don't want to have a Merc in your party at the all the time. You can actually say, when I use this skill or perform an evade or something like that, I want this reinforcement Merc to jump on the field, perform an action, then jump back out again. Yeah. So there's a lot of depth, a lot of fun, and some great storytelling in the Mercs feature.
Just to check, so Mercs, you can equip one at a time to complement your character, but you can access all of them and try them all out, see which one works best for you.
Correct, and you can mix and match your combo, so you can have 2 Mercs, and one is your main Merc and one is your reinforcement.
Oh.
And if you're in a party, the party leader can bring a Merc with them.
Sick.
Yeah.
So 5 things happening, because there wasn't enough on screen already.
I agree.
Yeah, great. Well, have you got any particular favorite Mercs that you like playing alongside?
For me personally, Rahir, because Rahir's a dad, and his daughter is introduced in the campaign flow.
Oh.
And so I kind of like associate myself with him because I'm a dad as well. I got 2 boys.
Right.
But also, like, I have a problem when I play Diablo, and I'm always speccing into damage and DPS at the expense of my defensive skills. And so Rahir has this buff called Resiliency, which actually increases your armor, increases your defensive buffs. And so I actually rely on that to stay alive when I'm playing the game.
Nice. Aislinn, how about yourself?
Yeah, I absolutely love Variana. She's just totally wild. She's a butcher who's also a former cannibal, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
And I love playing aggressively. You know, I love building momentum and moving forward. And she has a kill streak mechanic, and that complements that very nicely.
I like it. Rod?
I mean, the Demon Child. I think it's such a unique character in our world, and that explosive power, and the fact that it has the sort of the 2 sides, the human side and the demon side, is really cool to sort of complement the variety on the battlefield.
Okay, well, you've picked 3. I'll take the one left over.
Yeah, Subo.
Yeah, I'll pick Subo.
I mean, who doesn't love a drunken archer, really? I mean, that's...
Exactly. Thank you. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, but now, as promised, why don't we cover some behind-the-scene looks at the making Diablo IV Vessel of Hatred. Check this out.
Vessel of Hatred, we travel south to Nahantu, a region with both deep ancient jungles and vast sprawling plains. It's the last stretch of land in Sanctuary's eastern continent, and we've packed it full of experiences for every type of player. In this expansion, there's a whole lot to explore under the dark canopy of Nahantu.
Nahantu is the southernmost region of the eastern continent that Diablo IV has been taking place in. It's the last region that we haven't visited yet so far in the game, but it is one that we've been to before in Diablo.
There's lots of new areas. We have 6 in total. 4 of them are jungle themed, and then we have 2 that are Red Rock Canyon, but each one of them has their own unique identity. When you first arrive in Nahantu, you're in this place called Lingering Hatred. This is high treetops canopies where you're almost walking amongst the branches high above the jungle floor.
Imagine a thick canopy that the light is just barely poking through.
The whole area has been infected by this thing called the Hollows infestation. The Hollows are a new enemy that's associated with Mephisto. They themselves are kind of like a tar-like substance creature born straight out of the depths of hell.
It feels a little twisted. There's a sickness to the area itself.
Humans have ventured into this deep part of the jungle where there's all this poisonous plants and flora. The dregs actually started experimenting with eating these hallucinogens, and it put them into this aggressive psycho rage.
The dregs were pretty fun because we were able to push more variety in the monster family. You have one of these tall dregs and then half of a body of another dreg on top of it, kind of controlling it and telling it where to go and tossing poisonous bombs at the player. When you come across it, it's very memorable.
And then we've also got the area of Tenganse, where you've got the Tenganse Plateau, which is full of these red-rocked plateaus and canyons.
Imagine getting up above the land. Those gigantic walls have pockets inside where monsters could live. It offered up a lot of opportunity to bring back a monster family like the Lukunai.
We're bringing them back in a new way here as a fully fleshed out monster family with multiple classes.
What a more brute force looks like, what a caster looks like. They are very much apex predators, and we're definitely in their territory. And then there's a little sub-area called the Skittering Earth.
The name alone makes your skin crawl.
It's bug infested, and you can see how the bugs have destroyed the jungles and kind of input their influence on it. Within the Field of Giants, you have these giant corpses of these long dead demons that humans have begun to mine away at for their resources. While they've got a lot of use out of them, they're also toxic to the land around it.
The notion of massive demons walking Sanctuary 1,000 years ago is really thought-provoking.
Plateau's also got just this beautiful color scheme to the lighting. It's really lovely to be there. And then horrific at the same time, you know, it's great.
The Mercenaries and Vessel of Hatred are a group of people who we like to describe as ordinary people with extraordinary skills. They have the same level of will to fight against the demons of hell.
And there's 4 mercs that you can collect over the course of the campaign. Starts with Rahir, a blacksmith and a shield bearer, is a more defensive fighter.
He's able to go in there and soak up damage, use his shield as a bulwark against the enemy.
You meet him early on in the campaign, and he's one who introduces you to the Mercenary network. You end up finding acquisition quests for 3 other mercs that you can find throughout the course of the story.
Subo, the drunken archer, is gonna work really well for people who want someone who's out of the main melee, in the back, offering utility and that kind of range support.
Then we have Variana, a berserker crone, who's a melee combat fighter, close range. She's got a really cool combat meter, a massacre meter, where you need to keep killing enemies to get the meter to be filled.
She's got a bunch of really interesting utility skills that you can kind of build in.
Finally, we have the demon child Aldkin, who's a magic user who can transform himself from human form to demon form and join you in combat.
There's this really great reinforcement ability where you can take one of the mercenary skills and attach it to one of your powers so that when you use that skill, it calls them in to do a specific skill.
With the Mercenaries for Vessel of Hatred, one of the things we are expanding on is the skill tree. For Diablo III, you had a very basic type of mercenary, but this time you can actually push a little bit more into the skill tree and make the mercenary the way you would want to play.
Going through each mercenary progression arc and outfitting their skill tree so that it's complementary to your character build, I think that's where the fun in the mercenary system really lies.
The Dark Citadel is a new endgame feature that's coming in Vessel of Hatred. It's an entirely cooperative player experience. All the mechanics within it are based around you working together with your party members to solve the challenges and face the first Khazra hordes within.
One of the outcomes of the Mage Wars is this giant crater and all the souls that were kind of lost in it from those wars.
The goal of the first Khazra, who are kind of the original Khazra, they're using the powers within the Citadel found within this crater to perform experiments to try and bring back their Dark God.
Only recently, people have started going missing. They head into the Khazra region, they disappear, never to be seen again. So it's clear that whatever they're planning is about to come to fruition, and your job as the players to get in there and stop it.
Citadels are a place where we take what is the best part of Diablo, combat, and we test it in a different way, which is adding in cooperative mechanics that you have to manage on top of that.
For example, a boss has an attack, and as a player, you have to collect an item that allows you to reflect the attack back at him. So there's a little bit of a Twitch level mechanic there where you actually have to time your reaction shot. What's interesting about it is when you get multiple people in there, we're each responsible for reflecting that shot once, so we all have to sort of master the timing of that move. You can't do that kind of thing without coordinating as a team, and that's sort of the example of what Citadel gameplay feels like.
When designing the Citadel, we designed a lot of really cool bosses. And so one of the things that we did is we took that design and made like armor sets for each of the classes. That way you feel like you took their armor and you feel like you're wearing a little bit of them after your victory.
We also have a currency that's dedicated to the Citadel, where as you play through, a vendor can be interacted with to buy custom cosmetics that are unique to the Citadel. You can play with 2 people, but the ideal experience is for 4. In order to facilitate that, we've built an all-new Party Finder feature, and the community has been pretty vocal about wanting this for a long time. It made a lot of sense to us to pair it with this new Citadel mode.
It really is an activity that's geared towards people who love to play together with their friends or with strangers and enjoy that cooperative gameplay. I cannot wait for players to get into the world. I'm really just excited for people to see all the little hidden storytelling elements that the team has fit in.
There's interesting things to find and see and discover around every corner, and it's just a really great experience getting to explore Nahantu.
I mean, Party Finder, that is a fantastic idea. I mean, the amount of times I log on and a buddy's not there or whatever, now I can fill that gap. And who needs friends anymore, right? So, there was a lot in that. I want to talk specifically first about the Dark Citadel, because as a guy that's into his endgame activities, that's a really creative way to bring players together and actually work things out. So tell us, what actually will players have to do inside Dark Citadel to earn some rewards, get through it alive?
So it's really a unique model for us. And again, Dark Citadel is built towards endgame, and we're doing more in Vessel of Hatred to push players through the campaign and then into the endgame, where we think some of the best content is. So Dark Citadel will require at least 2 players to get through, and requires a lot of communication between players to overcome challenges. Every week there's going to be updated rewards, so there's always a reason to go back and do it again, because there's going to be some new stuff in there, including one very big fan requested feature, which is our Scroll of Retempering. So no more bricked items. You'll be able to apply the scroll and get all new tempering charges on that item. So I know everyone's very excited about that, and Dark Citadel is the best place to go to get that.
Excellent. Well, there is a lot in that, but it isn't the only thing that you're launching on October 8th. So what else we got to look forward to?
Yeah, so on October 8th, we're also going to be launching Season 6 alongside Vessel of Hatred. And Season 6 is going to have a ton of content that's bespoke. It's totally separate and unique to Season 6, and it's going to be free for all Diablo IV players, which is awesome.
Nice.
We're going to be talking a lot more about the details of the content of Season 6 in the coming months, but there's not going to just be new content coming in Season 6. Alongside Season 6 and Vessel of Hatred, we also have major character progression updates coming to Diablo 4.
I'm going to have to ask for some specifics. Surely you're teasing me too much. What else you got?
Yeah. So if you're familiar or you've played Season 4 Loot Reborn, you know we did a lot of itemization changes that kind of fundamentally altered a lot about how you're playing the game and how you're getting rewards. The scope of the character progression changes that are coming in Season 6 it's the same. Like, it's the same grand scale. There's a lot of changes coming to character progression, a lot of improvements coming. I'd love to talk a little bit about the goals and also a little bit about some Paragon changes that are coming with the character progression updates. Yeah, so really when we were thinking about these changes, we took a bird's eye view and we wanted to think about how can we make put the power in the player's hands of how they want to interact with the challenge that Diablo IV provides in the game. We wanted to make sure that you could opt in to your challenge level that you're comfortable with so that you can set your own pace in any activity throughout all of Diablo IV. And so we've applied, basically, if you've played Season 4 Loot Reborn, or you've played some in Season 5, you might be familiar with the Profane Mind Cage. That's an item that allows you in the Hell Tides to up the level of the monsters, up the difficulty, but you get more rewards as well. And we've kind of applied that philosophy throughout all of Diablo 4. You can kind of opt into your own challenge and then get more stuff because of it.
Sick.
And then alongside that, we also have a lot of changes coming to Paragon. We wanted to add depth and choice to the Paragon system, but we know that it's pretty daunting for some people, right? So we wanted to make sure that while we were doing that, we weren't increasing the complexity, right? We want to make sure that it's still that it's an approachable thing, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. And I could go on forever and ever and ever about this for hours. But we're going to have a lot more details in a developer live stream on August 29th. We're going to have a campfire chat where we're going to be talking all about the specifics of these things.
Awesome. I'm absolutely buzzing to see it.
I mean, the best way to phrase it is like what Season 4 did to loot, Season 6 will do to progression.
Excellent.
And the thing too, but just go back to the Party Finder, like there's things that people look at, like what's part of the expansion and what's not. Party Finder is coming to the game, not just to the expansion. So,
oh, great.
And what's great about it is not only can you access it through the social menu that you can see, or you can access it through your remote wheel, you can actually access it from the map. So when you say, I'm going to go do this dungeon, you can say, and list it as a party that people come join me in this dungeon. So it's a feature that's going to apply to the entire game.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I should also mention, in addition to Dark Citadel, we have another mode that we're bringing to the table, which is called Undercity. And Undercity is a time dungeon where you want to beat it before the timer runs out. And that mode has modifiable rewards. So you get these things called tributes, and depending on which tribute you use, you can modify and scale your rewards with the difficulty. It's a really cool mode. We're really excited. And one of the reasons we built these two modes is this concept of new ways to play. Right? People love our game. They love Nightmare Dungeons. They love Whispers. They love Hell Tides. But what we really want to do is make sure we have enough canvas so that every user can find something that is uniquely suited to them. And that's what New Ways to Play is all about.
Me and my friends, we just love being able to have a bit of choice, which is really fun in Infernal Hordes in the current season, for example, and being able to tailor exactly how messed up we want this level to get is really fun. So the fact that it's getting applied to more aspects of Diablo that's awesome to hear. But between now and the Season 6 launch and Vessel of Hatred, what other activities can players get up to whilst they wait?
I mean, really, just jumping into Season 5, like you were talking about, Season 5 continues the pace of Season 4. You can level up really fast. It's very exciting. The Infernal Hordes is a great new mode. Which
so
is
fun.
It's sort of a horde mode where wave after wave are coming after you. You can go and fight the Fell Council to get your rewards from that. But that's really the big thing. And just even if you haven't played through the campaign yet, that's one of the nice things about on the Vessel of Hatred is that it is a continuation of that story. So where Neyrelle left at the end of the game, you can pick that story up and you get to continue and play. So if you haven't played through the campaign yet, now's a great time. And I would be, I have to also do the pitch, right? Like,
go on.
It's an awesome time to pre-purchase the expansion. One of the things we had some great incentives before, where you get the new cat mount, you get new armor, you get pets now, you have snow leopard and a tiger that'll follow you around and pick up stuff for you. But with last night, we actually added 2 more, where not only do you have angel wings that we had before, we added demon wings last night. So if you've already,
yes.
So if you've already pre-purchased, you'll get your demon wings. They're coming, or they're there. But it's a good time. And then we actually added with the Deluxe and the Ultimate Edition, we've actually added 1 month of Ultimate Game Pass. So if you haven't jumped in yet, or if you want to add an extra month onto your subscription, pick up the pre-purchase, and you'll get an extra month. And I already got my code last night. I watched the show, got back to my hotel room, and there was my code for a month of Ultimate, so it was awesome.
Now you got to find some other games to play while you're on that as well.
Yeah,
in between Diablo.
Is that possible? I don't know if that's possible.
That's true. I mean, I've already put in quite a few hours into the current season, and it's so much fun as is, and I just can't wait to see the Season 6 drop as well, and Vessel's looking great, new class as well. I mean,
thank you so much.
I don't know what else I'm going to play in the meantime. You guys have just killed all my free time.
Well, it's great. One of the nice things is we have a demo deck on the booth here. Here we have the whole Nahantu corrupted, temple, and it's actually got a 20-minute demo of the Spiritborn. And what's great about it is you go in and you can pick whether you want to be a gorilla type, or a centipede type, or a jaguar type, or an eagle type, based on the Spirit Guardians. But then when it sort of clicks in after you played it for a little bit, like, wait, these aren't 4 different classes. This is one class with this amount of variety that I can apply to it. And so you can go in and double down on the Jaguar, like my shirt says, like, if you can be a Jaguar, be a Jaguar, right? Like, but you also can be, you can mix and match. You can be half centipede, half gorilla, and create really cool mixtures and unique play styles. And so, it's really exciting to watch people get their hands on. This is the first place that, outside of press and content creators, people have been able to play, and it's been fun just to watch them play.
Well, half centipede and half gorilla is a disturbing image to end on, but, thanks a lot, Rod.